Hi, Luminaires. Hi. How's everybody doing on this fine day? If you are joining me live, this is in the States the day before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate it. My name is Jamie Butler. I'm the Everyday Medium, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about compassionate communication, aka nonviolent communication, otherwise known as connecting to the needs behind statements being made and being able to identify the emotion that the person is projecting or doing their best to share. Doing their best to share. I get excited and I just don't breathe right. It's nice to have you here. I would love to have your comments up on the chat thread. And if you have questions about what we're talking about, I'd love to hear them or read them at least. I picked 4 kind of generalized conversations of conflict that might arise during family gatherings or holiday season. So this could match for a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, a Hanukkah, any other kinds of celebrations, of birthday, just a place where people gather. There's a lot of kind of conversations that can be a little edgy, and I'd like to help you out with it because, especially if you're energetically sensitive, which is probably why you're here on the channel. And when you're energetically sensitive and you get into some situations, gatherings, we often feel everything that's going on. So we might get words directed at us, but we're already attached or feeling or processing the agenda, the expectation, the assumption, the label, the judgment, the undercurrent of the words. And it's often very difficult, often, not always, difficult to manage as an energy sensitive. We can get overwhelmed or we want to shut down or we want to leave. And sometimes this puts us in a situation where we don't even want to go to begin with. You know, we hear that there's a gathering or something's going on. It's like, yeah, it's good, it's fine. Like, because maybe you already have it in your mind, which you probably don't really want to do this, but we're human and things like this happen where you're like, oh, so and so is going to be there and they're going to ask me about this thing and I just don't want to talk about it. You know, and so you reroute your evening, your day, your events based on avoidance. And so I'd like to help you get to the place of not needing to use avoidance or a step around to where you can be exactly where you want to be in your life and still have your boundaries in a way that you adore and love and feel supported. And that can easily be through compassionate communication. I also am going to share a little pre-game energy technique that you can do and an after game energy thing that you can do. And it's only like 2 minutes long. Not even that. Probably you could do it a lot quicker than that, just to help you manage your own energy that you're carrying so that you're not taking on other people's, especially when you're leaving a place. We don't need to take home anybody else's stuff. Oh, it's so nice to see everyone here. Before we get into that, I'd love to tell you that we do have classes coming up, even in December and coming up next year. We do have compassionate communication. So if you're joining our conversation today and you want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into it, that starts in January 7th. But we have a retreat at the end of February in Sedona, Arizona. It's a 3-day kind of compact all-day event where we're going to be accessing higher consciousness energy. Like, how do we stay in tune with the higher frequencies that we're playing around with as we're growing? And we have a Trance Channel Angel series. This is part 5. And we do, is it 3 or 4 angels in each part? If you haven't been with me when I Trance Channel, I don't retain the memory of it. So this is why it seems really elusive. It's not that I don't have control over my calendar. Thank you, Colleen. The lovely Colleen Ziegler in the chat thread. 3. We do 3 angels for each series. And so we have that coming up starting December 12th. And then for all of the healers out there wanting to learn energy healing, I teach Reiki and I have level 1 and 2 coming up at the beginning of next year. But those of you who are already knee deep into it and you want to get a little bit more woo with it, I like to teach how Reiki and quantum healing really are interchangeable. And so we do a fusion class and we get into some really more sensitive and more woo-woo topics of subtle light energy and creating that balance of energy. So there's that. Just check out the website, jamiebutlermedium.com. Would love to see you there. And we have our YouTube memberships. Thank you so much. I see a lot of you here today for being here. We're in book club today, and we just voted for our next book, which is Power versus Force. If you've ever wanted to read it, join the membership. And the lowest tier, book club and a healing or meditation every month. Would love to see you there. Of course, we do other things, but that's the biggest. Okay, the 4 topics that I sat down and was like, I think where we get cornered as a sensitive is when big topics come at us and we're just like, I don't want to talk about it, or that's inappropriate, or you're pushing my boundaries. And I think that is the criticism of your life choices, like what you're doing with your life when somebody just comes hard at you, family, friend, stranger. Why are you doing this and why haven't you done this? So we're going to look at examples in that realm. And also undermining your boundaries. Like when you've said, this is what I've had enough of. And they go, oh, come on, have one more piece. Or come on, let's leave. Or come on, let's stay. And they're trying to encourage you because it's, the end means to their outcome, but they're not listening to yours. We'll also look at kind of like a political vibe. That's always fun to get into with family and friends. And of course, for those parents out there, a little unwanted parenting advice. Remember? Well, not remember, you might be new at this. People really enjoy raising, that's a generalized statement, but I think people in general like to give their opinions and comments. And they're not always welcomed. So compassionate communication is a way of showing up as the energy sensitive, bright light that you are, not needing to compromise, and being able to get into any situation with differences or alignment, whether you resonate and you're in harmony or completely disagree, and still maintain your happy little heart, your soft body posture, and not feeling attacked, because you're able to connect. Whenever we open our mouths for a conversation, we're looking to make a connection. We're looking to get our needs met. So whenever you're saying hi back or how are you, you're looking to get your need met and make a conversation. Yes, as Connie is sharing in the thread, hides face and shame at unwanted parenting advice. Still a work in progress. Okay, let's talk about that one right now then. Let's say we're at a gathering, whether it's this Thanksgiving, wherever, and you get that unwanted parenting advice. Maybe this is the one that's like, they're immediately noting how you are disciplining or not disciplining your kids. Like, you're too lenient with your kids and they run all over you. They just do whatever they want, and it's that passive aggressive kind of approach of what are you going to do about it? And you, as Connie's saying, might want to hide your face and run. And so there's a disconnect, and that might have pain. I'm taking a guess, Connie. You can always let me know if that's right or not. Like, where it just hurts to hear, or you misunderstand kind of where they're coming from, but you don't have the means of speaking back. Or you might want to speak out to them and just go, F off. Hey, this is not your territory. Or, I'm sorry, are they your kids? No, they're not. They're mine. So I get to do what I want. Or say something like, please stop telling me how to raise my kids. Maybe you've heard it again and again from them. And so you take the tactic to just try to lay it out. But even there, if somebody says, you're too lenient with your kids, they run all over you, and then you say, stop telling me how to parent my kids, like, there is a disconnect. You don't necessarily know where they're coming from. They could have meant something completely different. And in any conversation, you can take it in multiple directions. One direction could be, I want to know more about what that person's saying because I don't understand it. Or another approach could say, I need to tell you where I am. So I'm going to come from me. I'm not going to be curious about where you are. I'm going to let you know where I am. So those are the 2 twists that you can take. And with compassionate communication, it's more about repeating the situation that just occurred. And this is called an observation. And an observation is very much like having a video camera. You're not going to add any opinion. You're not going to exaggerate You didn't catch a fish this big, you caught this big of a fish. No exaggeration, no judgments, no labels, nothing like that. Just like straight up what just went down. And then you're going to be able to state that, follow it up with what are you feeling? What do you need? And make a request. So a feeling is an emotion. It's not about talking about, I'm very hot or I have goosebumps. It's really stating what the emotional quality is that you're in at that moment. And sometimes that alone is just super confusing. People are like, I don't even know. Like that comment came out of left field. I don't even know how I feel. And then it's like retrospect, you know exactly how you felt. So it might take a little time for you to really understand what emotion are you in. So you can get online and you can print emotion cards. In class, we give you emotion cards. In fact, the Learn to Read Auras class, hi everyone, that we're in right now, almost in the middle of, they just went through all 80 emotions. All the cards that I'm holding in my hand have emotions written on them. Confused. What is this? Moved. And they linked it to how it feels in their body, where it lives, how it moves them, how they connect to it, and what the definition of that emotion is. So they're better equipped to understand what they are feeling emotionally in any situation. You know, it's not something that we really go through in school, which is, in my opinion, I'd like to see that change. I would like to see that change. Okay, so you would say your emotion, state your need, and that might be your next hang up. What do I need? And you're like, you might want to go, I need you to leave me alone. But a need is not about really directing somebody else away from you or doing something. A need is like, what do you require at that moment? And it might be, there are cards for this as well that you will get in class. It might be that you need more understanding, or that you need more power with something, or that you need empathy. That's a really good card to pull up there. It might mean that you need a little bit more trust. So you'll have to take the time to really understand what emotions you have and what do you need in that moment. And then following that, and it doesn't have to be in a particular order, but in somewhere in here, you want to make a request. And this request is not a demand. A demand is like, you're going to do this. And if you don't do this, like, I'm going to blow up. A request is something that you can hear a no on. And you're like, all right, you just said no to me. You said yes to something else. Maybe you're curious. You can ask, well, what did you say yes to? But when you make a request, yes or no are equal values to you. You're like, absolutely. I'm willing to go all in. I'm willing to lose it all. But here's the request. And it needs to be really direct, my friend. If you have time frames, throw them out there. Like, they got to be real direct. If not, if they're loosey-goosey, then your listener can just take it and run with whatever they need. And you're doing your best to present what you really want to see happen. So you could probably, instead of saying, please stop telling me how to raise my children, you could probably come back with, all right, when I hear you comment about my parenting style, that's the observation. And it doesn't have to be so formal. You know, it could actually be like, um, when there are comments, or, you know, when you commented on my parenting style, you share your feelings afterwards, your emotions. I don't know why I want to say feelings. I want to just say emotions from here on out. You throw out your emotions. And most of the time, people will say, I feel tense. I feel judged, right? You might feel judged when they say, oh, you don't do this, and they run all over you. But you don't have to use the word feeling. You can just say, you know, when I hear comments about my parenting style, I get tense. I feel judged. There's the word feel. Because really what I need is trust and autonomy and how I raise my children. That's what I need right now. So you're sharing what you need, which is not getting met by what the other person was doing or saying. And then you want to throw out a request. Like, what would be a good request at that moment? Like, would you be willing to allow me to handle my parenting unless I ask for additional input, or I mean, honestly, it is advice, it is opinion, but I like to avoid triggering words like advice or opinion because those seem to be more of a hot spot these days where people are like, well, it's the truth, which is like anything that comes out of anybody's mouth is an opinion. Everybody has their own level of truth. So, like, you would just come back at it with, would you be willing to let me handle my own parenting unless I need more input or unless I ask for more input? And then you wait and you don't say anything else. Don't flounder anymore. Don't go, well, I mean, is it okay with you? If it's not okay with you, it's totally fine with me. No, stop it, you energy sensitive, beautiful creature. Hold your silence. Silence is so sweet and it's so powerful and it's so active. It's not a passive thing. You're actively holding silence, and then listen. And then what you get back, you might get back an absolute like, yeah, absolutely, not a problem. And then it's just not a problem between the two of you. But then you might get somebody who just wants now to have a therapy session over what you laid down because you're putting your request out there that supports your need, and that is a boundary. And then all of a sudden you verbalize your boundary, and this listener is like, maybe they're a person who doesn't want to do anything wrong. And then they respond back to you in left field. Well, I didn't mean to say anything harmful and I didn't mean to. And then you just say, it's not about that. Because you can only speak from the I, make your requests, and just go, oh, it's not about any of that. But would you be willing to let me handle my parenting unless I ask for input from here on out? Yes or no? Like, you can say it like that. And then you can drop it and move on once you get your response. Ooh. You love crows? Where did crows come from? I'm loving this. Crow on my arm. Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. Oh my God, that is so funny. All links are in the description below. Yes, thank you so much, Colleen. Okay. Oh, I love you, Luminaires, talking to each other and sharing. Oh, Cassandra's sharing that in her daughter's preschool year, they did the same sort of like making emotion cards. So it helped them express their feelings, help them express their emotions. I love this, and I would love to see more of this happen in schools. So all of it is based on what emotion are you feeling and what do you need? And then giving the request, not a demand. A request is very doable. It's in the present moment. It's not about what you're going to do in like next year or in 5 minutes. It's now and doable and agreeable, not agreeable, but about the situation, not like about manipulating anybody else. It's always to support your needs. What about those political times? Like if somebody were to come up to you at the gathering and just go, people who think like you are ruining the country. People like you, people who think like you people, you're ruining the country. Whatever it is, any kind of like, I'm trying to make it really loose. I wrote notes on this so I wouldn't dive into any hole here. And then you might want to respond with like, whoa, that's insulting. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Slam them, shut them down, put them in their place, right? Because they came at you with something big, and it's common for you to play back, mirror back, or get bigger. So you have no idea what you're talking about. Shut down. But is that really connecting? And does that feel good to your energy? For me, I can only speak for me. No, not so much. So you can come back with this observation, feeling, needs, request. OFNR is what it boils down to. And you could say something like, when I hear statements that lump me into a group that's being criticized, so that could be the observation. People like you are ruining the country. People who think like you, your people are ruining the country. So when I hear statements that lump me into a group that's being criticized, here's where you get to share your emotions. I'm hurt. I get guarded because I value mutual respect. That's the need. What did you need? You needed mutual respect right here in this, and open dialogue. So I value mutual respect and open dialogue. Would you be open to hearing my perspective without labels? Or can we skip politics altogether? Like, you have the right to say, can we just skip this? Can we just shut this down? Like, we don't need this. But if you don't want to hear where I'm coming from, like, I don't want to show up in the conversation because it's not mutual. And my need is to have mutual respect, open dialogue. You have to be able, in a high energy situation, to identify what emotions you're having. Because sometimes when people come up to me, I have cat hair in my mouth. Leroy's here. He's sleeping under the chair. It's my kitten. If you're following along now, he's 6 months old and 10.5 pounds. He's huge. Hopefully he'll show his face in a second. But often when I get in a conversation where somebody comes at me like that or throws a topic my way that rattles my heart rate goes up. I start to sweat. I get flustered. I feel offended. I feel out of place. Sometimes I just start to shame myself. Like, I don't even know why. And so if that's you, because you don't have the skills to come in to really say, what are you feeling? What are your needs? And it's often needs not being met, and what would your request be? How would you want the situation to come out? Then pause. Pause creates momentum. Pause and name exactly what's going on physically in your body. And those are called feelings. And so at the beginning, it's a little awkward. And this is kind of homework I love giving. So if you like homework, here it is. In your next holiday gathering or family gathering or friend gathering, whatever it is, where somebody throws a topic at you and you just go, like, what is this happening? Is anybody seeing this? Where your heart rate and your energy shifts drastically. You move positive energy, negative energy, but you're not staying neutral. It throws you out. The big word here is like, you get triggered, but it's not just about being triggered. It's about noticing where your energy is going, either to protect, or to shift and agree, like to compromise, protect or compromise. So then you stay in your body and you go, wow. And when you said that to me just now, it's like my mouth got really dry. I can barely swallow. My heart is racing. I'm actually a little rattled inside. And all this time that you're sharing this, you're giving valid information to the listener, to the person you're in conversation with or the people you're in conversation with. They're getting to see you for right where you are, the snapshot of the real you. You're not masking anything or hiding anything, which is so valuable as a sensitive. Like, as soon as you sensitives, psychics, intuitives, things like that, start to lie or manipulate, if you're not like professional at it, your energy gets twisted. It like gets in knots and it doesn't feel good. And then you find yourself down a rabbit hole where you've said a few lies to block things, to shift things. You're like, oh my God, that's not even me. Why are we doing this? Like, what's happening? And you're just going along with it. And you're like, oh my God, I'm screwed. Like, and it just doesn't help. So just go ahead and share what's happening physically, share those feelings. Then you can start to identify, oh my God, I'm actually really hurt and I feel very guarded. So that's what's going on right now. What do I need out of this? I really need some mutual respect. I respect you. I respect your decisions in your political environments. I need some respect for mine. And I was given no chance to even give my perspective. So, like, I need an open dialogue. I mean, you can work it out. It doesn't have to be like crisp and pristine. Like, I thought about this before we did the live stream and I wrote this stuff down. Like, so you can roll with it as you're in the moment. And then you think to yourself, like, what would my request be? My request is that I want to be heard. Are you willing to hear my own perspective? Like, without labels, without critiques, without judgments, and just really hear me? And if not, like, can we just skip this altogether? Like, it's not needed. So you can work that out. Oh, somebody has watched me at a live stream at my house where my ferrets run rampant. I do still have my ferrets, lemon, lime, and soda pop, and they are at home. But Leroy, my Maine Coon kitten, comes to work. And he's now sleeping underneath the chair. Leroy. See if he can wake up. There are two other topics I thought about. One is undermining your boundaries. I get this a lot, and my compassionate heart totally just like freaks out when someone's like, oh my God, you could just stay another hour. Can you just stay with me, please? Like, it's so rude to leave early. Like, why would you do that? Don't leave me by myself. Don't, whatever it is. And then it's like, they're guilt tripping me. They're just trying to do whatever they can to get me to stay with them. And you're like, stop guilt tripping me. I've got to go. Like, duh. And then you leave and it's like, oh, the energy feels like this. Like, why would they do that? Like, what? You're still left with mystery. So in compassionate communication, you can connect a little bit more and at least share with how it was to receive that. And you can come back like, when you ask me to stay after I've told you I need to leave or I'm ready to leave, I feel so stressed and torn. Like, it tears me up on the inside because I need to honor my level of energy and my commitments. Oh, I wanted to say something else, but that wasn't really compassionate. Because you could say, I feel stressed, I feel torn because I need to honor my level of energy and commitments, period. Would you be willing to trust that I'm doing what's best for me today? Could you, would you? Requests always come as a question, and they're very open, they're very curious. Like, is it possible? Could you? I'm going to take a guess, things like that. Thank you, Vlad, for the lovely financial energy there. It was very sweet. So you could ask, would you be willing to trust that I'm doing what's best for me right now, or best for me today, or best for me tonight, or best for me in this environment? And then, like, really, that shows the listener, like, you have some boundaries and this is what you're agreeing to, and you're taking care of yourself. It's not about ditching them. It's not about offending anyone. It's really self first. You like how it gives a different perspective. Yay. But I mean, sometimes I tend to have to do a little retrospect where they're like, please, please stay, do, give, do. And it's like my compassionate heart goes, oh, I like being needed. It's something I can do. I do have a little bit more in me. I could ignore my needs for right now. And then I'll find myself in the action. And then it's like, as soon as I wake up, I have to say something. I'd be like, guys, this looks like a lot of fun. Thank you for the invite. But I've agreed to this, and I'm noticing that I really need to honor my timeline, my boundaries, my energy, my needs. I feel this is what I need. Here's my request. And it just gets everybody on the same page. Time has a boundary. God, it's good to see you again, Nancy. Oh, what about another topic where it's about criticism of life choices? Like, why'd you do that? Or why do you have that job? You don't make that much money yet? Why did you quit? Or, this is a good one, like, oh, so you're still not married? You don't have a partner? You're too picky, that's your problem. Yeah, you just need to take what's coming at you, They're like totally critiquing your life choices. You probably want to throw a punch. No, okay. Maybe, I don't know. It depends who says it, right? You might want to react strongly and be like, we don't have to get into this right now. Like, why would you even say that? You always judge me. You do this and you do that. And it's just tit for tat. Nobody's connecting. It's just this fight of words and energy, and nothing is meshing. And when you open up your mouth, it's all about getting a need met. What need is getting met here? So you can come at it. And all these examples I chose to do in the I. This is where I'm coming from. This is what I feel. I didn't give any examples of going, I'm not clearly understanding where you're coming from. Still no partner? Like, and wanting to learn more. Because I think as energy sensitives, we require a little bit more practice setting our boundaries and making requests rather than showing curiosity to connect more. Because if it's already something that you don't want to get into, conversation or anything, why do you need to show curiosity to connect more? Why can't you just go ahead and lay your boundary? So there was a channeling that happened during our African safari, to which we just got back on Saturday night, Colleen and I, and Colleen shared it with me because it was a channeling with Grace, and I'm still like managing it. But she talks about the pivot, and it was a pivot of a 0.01 degrees. And it's not changing and pivoting when something is really complicated or frustrating or off topic. It's pivoting in your life when there's the slightest bit of irritation. And pivot doesn't mean to turn, to leave, and walk away. Pivot means, from what I'm gathering, is to turn and look from a different perspective. Don't stay where you are. If it's a 0.01 irritation, go ahead and make the shift. Don't wait. You don't have to wait for it to get bigger, wait to connect to it more. You already had a response of irritation. Go ahead and shift where you are. And so this kind of compassionate communication, in my opinion, is in alignment with that. When you hear something that's not harmonizing or resonating with you, you pivot. you change your perspective. You can speak up and you can share why. And to share why is to first talk about what the experience was, what you observed. So in this example, when somebody says to you, oh, you're not married, you don't have a partner. So you can say, all right, when I hear comments about my relationship status, because that's what it's about. When I get comments about my relationship status, notice it's always I. It's not when you make comments about my relationship status. No, sensitives. It's never, no, it's not a never. Never is really absolute. But it's not a fingers out. Take your energy, keep your energy. When I hear comments about my relationship status, and what's so surprising is when you speak from the I, it gives the listener more room to listen because it's not about them. It actually is, but it's not, because they're learning about what the experience was inside of you when you said, when I hear comments about my relationship status, even though they created it, it's okay. Then you share what your emotions are. Like, I feel uncomfortable, or I get uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable and pressured because, share your needs, because I really value being accepted as I am and making choices in my own timeline. I really value that. So that's your need. And then here's your request. Doable, right in the present moment. Would you be willing to talk about something else instead? Instead of just going in and going, change that effing topic, Now they know where you're coming from. Not only do they know why you want to change the topic, they know what your emotions are, they know what you need. It's not just this cutoff. And you know what this is going to get you in the long run? The next time you go to that family gathering, guess what's possibly more likely to not happen? The same conversation. Hey, still not married, huh? Because they remember from the last time, because they learned something from you, because you opened and you shared. Maybe this time they'll come to you and go, hey, how is your relationship status these days? And now they're really open to listening to where you are. And you can choose to share it or not. You don't have to. You definitely don't have to. Oh, Cassandra says, thank you, Jamie. Exactly what I've been feeling the last year. I've pivoted a lot, LOL. And I get the same questions about relationships and why I chose not to stay in them. Yeah. So I'm happy this is helping. You can always go back and listen to this, take notes. You can go read Marshall Rosenberg's book. I like to read it during our class, Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. There's also other great books and videos out there. Dive into it. If you're really looking to stay high vibe, high frequency, compassionate, sensitive, and get into conversations and not feel like you have to shrink away because it's like, hi, where you can really just stay in it and just go, "Look, this is who I am. Here are my boundaries. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I need. If you can't meet it, it's okay. I love you. I love our differences, but I'm not going to stay in this because I need to be loyal to this relationship or I need to save face for somebody else. Like, you're there for you." I adore this about compassionate communication. So, sensitive. um, I'm laughing because Nancy said, I just laugh and I say, still free. All right, here's some energy little cleansing and tricks that you can do before and after. So before you go in to the party, the gathering, the holiday, the whatever it is, this is your time to acknowledge and kind of buffer up. Some people call it a seal, a protection, call it what you like. I think protection and seal are kind of really absolutes. I feel like we're more fluid in our energy. So the concept is we're going to kind of clear the field and allow whatever comes in that doesn't belong to us to move on out. It's when we hold on to the things that we get the conflict, the uneasiness, the overwhelm, the too much energy on us. So before you go in, you can clear your field. It's like 20 seconds. Just stand still, sit still, just get tall. Sweep your hands from the top of your head down to your feet, like you're, I don't know, cleaning, like sweeping. To when I teach kids, I teach them that the hands are the rakes and you're raking the leaves and you just want to clear off. It's just like cleaning off static or dust bunnies, things like that. You can do it down the back, just do it 3 times. Or you can just shake it off. You can jump a few times and just shake it off. Then you want to visualize, which means to imagine and pretend. Easy as that. That the edges of your energy field, which is the edges of your aura for this current incarnation, is like a soft violet hue. Like you're glowing with violet edges. And then you can say out loud or internally, or just acknowledge, what is mine stays with me, what is not mine passes through. Which this means like the energy that you have, you're not going to be giving away unless you want to give away. And it means that whatever is moving through you because of your compassionate, sensitive little heart of yours, and you don't like it, moves right on through. So you're not going to carry anything. What is mine stays with me. What is not mine passes through. So this is you setting energetic boundaries that are like filters. It doesn't need walls, protection. That takes a lot of energy, guys, and it shuts you down. Shuts you down and you feel like you're going through the crowd like this, like bumping energy off of you. You don't need to be the bull. You're not a bull. You're sensitive, you're delicate, you're strong, you're amazing, you're colorful. Like, let's be that instead. So what's mine is mine, what's not moves through. Then anchor into your truth. This is a cool little thing. And this is like 30 seconds, not even. You're like, what does anchor into my truth mean? You can place a hand on your heart. I like to do right hand on heart because they're opposing forces. Your right hand is positive current energy. Your heart is negative current energy. So you're looping them together. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it the other way. And I like to put my other hand on my belly, which is really solar plexus. And then you can say to yourself, I show up to myself. I show up as myself, and that's enough. I don't need anything else. I'm going to show up as myself. And then you could choose a word, like what you imagine how you want your frequency to be. Like, I'm full of grace, neutrality, soft, humor, clarity, loving. Like, pick a word that really resonates for you in that moment for that situation. So you've anchored in. Anchor your truth. I show up as myself, and that's enough. And I am full of grace and ease. Boom. Drop the mic. Head on into the party. It's wild. Working with your subtle light energy, your auric field, your chakras, your vibrations, your frequencies, whatever you want to call them, doesn't take a long time. What it does take is that when you are talking to it, you need to mean what you say. You really need to mean what you say. And if you don't, you'll get there. Just keep at it, keep practicing. I am. Okay, then when the party is all done, that's when you want to, after the gathering, you want to release and restore. And this is just a few minutes. So you want to clear out the little dust particles. Sometimes it might be very intense conversations where you've built cords that you just need to cut. But this is just kind of releasing clingy energy from groups and musics and conversations all around. So you take your hands and warm them up. And then you're going to brush your hands around your shoulders, chest, and side of your ribs, and then the back of the neck. So there is a Reiki technique. If you've taken Reiki with me, you take your right hand, brush down 3 times, 2, 3, other side, shoulder to palm, 1, 2, like you're just brushing it off. Then you want to go from shoulder to hip, so you're going across the chest. 1, 2, 3, other side, big X, right? 2, 3. And so this is a swipe or a brush. You can come up to the back of the neck and sweep that as well. You just brush it off. So you say, I release everyone's energy with gratitude. I release everybody's energy with gratitude. Ooh, I release everybody's energy. Did that 4 times with gratitude. I release everybody's energy with gratitude. Swipe it out. I release. It just feels good just to do that. You could probably stop there, but I like to call your energy home because compassionates out there, you lay your energy down in a conversation. You lay your energy in other people when they're like, oh, and I need, or I'm a victim, or I have, and you're like caught into the drama. What can I do to help you? And how can I show up? And what can you do? Like, it's like, take it. I don't need it. You need it more than I do. I don't know. You're like, you start to give it away. So you want to just call yourself back. So you can place your palms over your belly, like your low belly, the soft belly, like maybe one in between your hips on the low belly and then one on the high belly. It doesn't matter. Just anchor into the soft part of you. And the sacral, which is beneath the belly button, the sacral chakra, that's the one that carries all the emotions. So if you're getting hooked into conversations, most likely this is the one getting depleted first before your heart energy. Interesting. So here you want to put your hands over the belly and you want to breathe slow. And then it's a statement. The statement is, all my energy returns to me now, cleansed and whole. So you're anchoring into the belly. All of my energy returns to me now, cleansed and whole. Don't forget the cleansed and whole part. Just bring it on home. Clean, perfect, call it home. Now, the shake and flush kind of a thing. You can shake your hands or roll your shoulders, or you can do both. Exhale loudly, like let that out, because all of that is going to discharge like emotional static. Get it off of you from wherever you were, and then it's over. You've regrounded. Whoa. Reground, take your thoughts into your body. Pay attention to where you are. I am here and now. I am here and now. You're like, anchor in. Like you can imagine breathing. I like to breathe from the crown, take it down to the body, the breath, all the way down to the feet, and let it into the earth. I am here and now. or you can say, I return to my center, or I am grounded. Anything that just takes it in. All right, so those are the things before and after an event to help you and your energetically sensitive light body to enjoy holiday seasons, gatherings, parties, concerts, wherever you are going out there in the great big world, to help you get into it. If you like this kind of content, please give us a thumbs up. No, wait. Join me for compassionate communication at the beginning of next year. Take this time now and just think about where you want to be in 2026 and how you want to connect to people. And if it's not with me, you can find other magnificent teachers out there. Or if you're not into getting a teacher, you can also read the book. Like, the more you grow, it lifts for all of us. So we're reaping and everybody's wonderful growth that they're doing. So I appreciate everything that each and every one of you Luminaires are putting out there. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. Oh, on my little ramble. Let's see if we can wake up this monster. Is he coming get out? Oh, sleepy. Oh, wake up. Oh, my goodness. Here he is. Oh, he's so sleepy. It's Leroy. Remember when he was a kitten? He's still a kitten. Oh my God, guys. He's in a deep sleep. He's so funny. You see your pretty face? I'm so excited. Not that I want him to grow up super fast. He's about to get the floofy tail and the floofy mane. See, I kind of got the floofy mane. He's getting his face on. He's got his big whiskers. He's getting his mane. He's so pretty. There he is. He's grown so much, hasn't he? Sorry. Thank you guys so much. I love showing him off. I just adore him. Now he's making little loops around my feet. All right, Luminaires, take care. Remember, it's not woo-woo. It's true. And B, I just saw your comment. Does Maitland play with him? That's a big yes. Oh, you're so welcome. And last minute. So Let's Watch is making a statement. It just sucks. I never get an answer. So Let's Watch. The questions that you were putting in the chat thread weren't aligned with the topic. So I tend to not address those. And if you need some personal guidance, you can always reach out personally, set up an appointment. I do have time set aside to help individuals who are requesting kind of the guidance that you're looking for. But to come to the live streams where we have specific topics and it's not about general Q&A for whoever's throwing up is not in alignment with what I'm doing. So this is why I wasn't giving it attention in the thread. So I wanted you to know that, and that you have the request is that you reach out to the website if you need further assistance. We'd love to be there for you. All right, everyone, take care. Be well. Bye.